It is Tuesday, my dudes.
Good morning, TFR.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
And welcome to the Ironworks. Happy Tuesday, everybody. My name is Josh Corey. This is Truth Frequency Radio. You're listening to the Ironworks, and I am joined this morning by two of my very good friends and co-hosts. Well, three, actually. Damn it. We'll just jump right in with Zachary Zabala, Mr. Too Nice for Rice, or Good Times for All. They're on YouTube. Zachary, good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, I am doing very well. I'm wide awake this morning. I got to bed really, really early last night, so I don't know.
What's your
I'm back in 8 o'clock, I think. I was probably sleeping.
That's pretty early.
Yeah, I was tired. It was an exciting day. Went through, I put all the videos together for the presentation, and the audio is different on all of them.
Oh.
Yeah. So, got a good mic and started redoing the whole thing, and it sounds great. And we decided, hey, Cammie, why don't you do a couple of these too? Instead of just me doing the whole voice thing. So we're like flip-flopping now.
Well, perfect.
Yeah, and she sounds great on audio. But yeah, it's coming out really well. I'm pleasantly surprised. I mean, it's never done in my eyes, but I'm getting a lot of good positive feedback. So I hope it's not just people telling me what I want to hear.
Oh, I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. I did get to see one. I saw you dropped one in a chat. It looked really good. From what I saw.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe this weekend I could do something for the Iron Scouts if they're all free. Maybe I'll get into Twitter after the show and maybe we'll put something together to where, because I want to show them, because I know a lot of them aren't going to be there. So I'll give them like a sneak preview.
That'd be awesome, man.
Ooh,
yeah.
Really dig that, I bet. Well, who is that speaking up? Is that Walter Johnson?
That's me. I got too excited when I heard that idea. I couldn't shush on that one. That sounds great, Zach. Good morning, everybody. TFR, Zach, Josh, mystery, third person, fourth person. How many? I can't count yet. Brain's still asleep. But we're here. We made it through a weekend. Crazy weekend. And we'll get into that here in just a minute. But that's enough of my yapping. Let's introduce the man of the hour, the renegade who had it made. That, or should we say the at this point? It has to be the Adam Meakin.
Definitely the.
Welcome, Adam. Did you fall asleep on us?
No, I'm here, boys. I've literally just come.
It's a good thing your assistant was there to answer the phone for you this morning.
The way the press and the phone's ringing now, mate, we've got about, you've got to have a team behind you.
You got to have that layer, that buffer. I understand when you're big like that.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I tried jumping through my screen.
I think that was a good thing. People couldn't, mate. It was an interesting day.
I'm just glad Dave's wife didn't allow him. He looked like he was ready to pull that guy off of you.
As hard as the copper was grabbing me arm, mate. So,
yeah, you got a good group there.
Yeah, it's been an amazing time. Last day today, so.
Oh, I thought you might just go fugitive from Marie.
Yeah.
Look like you're having so much fun there.
Well, mate, I am. I don't want it to end. I really don't want it to end. It's been an amazing experience, and I'd say with great people. So, but I suppose all good things must, and I shall be following the tour eagerly from back in the UK. So, and of course, looking forward to meeting up with everybody then that'll have been on once it does end, early December. So,
Well, you have done a great job representing the Flat Earth community for sure, Adam. I've been watching, and you guys are doing awesome out there. You can see the compassion and the love coming from everybody's voices when they're talking. Tell you guys are a really dedicated bunch. It's just so awesome to watch.
I'm sure the guys can hear that as well. Cheers.
Cheers. In case you're new to the show, in case this is your first time to tune in case you weren't around this weekend, you had things going on, something. In case you don't have a clue what we're talking about, our good friend Adam has been at the helm of the Globe Live Tour bus there in Italy. And he had a bit of excitement just this Sunday. I woke up to a Skype call from Gary, of all people, who never just calls me directly. Usually it's a group thing. And when I looked at the message he had left, it was, Adam's been arrested in Italy. And this was at like 2 hours before I had gotten up. So I woke up to this going, what the hell? So give them the rundown, Adam. Tell them what exactly happened. What did you do to incite such just civic unrest? What did you do, Adam? What did you do?
You know, I just went and asked for the man's name. So, you know, maybe justified actions against me. We got into Rome, into the Colosseum area, and there was just setting the banners up, got the banners set up, and then these two guys came over. One of them dressed in a police uniform, and the other one just dressed in civilians, smoking loads of fags. And we engaged in discussions and the likes, as you do with the authorities, you know, as you're setting up, just trying to make sure there's no problems. But these guys were quite adamant that we weren't going to be there. And, you know, the same had happened in Venice. And like, so, nothing too, not a problem, it's just a matter of moving on. But they were quite aggressive, these guys, and power tripping and stuff. And there was a point where we weren't fully compliant in terms of having mates who was running around packing up and everything, and we're still discussing the situation. And Nora's kind of asked the guy that looked a bit like Kojak or Mussolini, you know, what law is it? And he says, I'll show you the law. And he goes and grabs all the banners and starts dragging them to his little panda, orange panda. To that point, that's where it's starting to get a little bit hairy. Well, we've packed up. We're compliant. We've packed everything up. And I've just gone, you know, over to them. We're just talking and that. And as well, I'm not being aggressive. I'm just saying, you know, what's your name and that, so when we can inquire about this, please. And then he saw his arse, basically. Got really aggressive at me. Said, I want to see your papers now, etc., etc. And then, due to some more of the discussion, I said, it's no problem. They're in the van. You'll see me pointing on the video. That's me pointing down the road, saying, look, the van's just down there. Come with me and I'll show them you. And we've been toing and throwing, walking, sort of, between where we'd set up and that. There's only like 10 metres difference between the van and where we are. And I'm just walking back thinking, I better get my stuff, because by this point he's threatening to arrest me. So, well, I'm going to get my stuff. This is just stupid. I've not done anything wrong. I mean, what would you arrest me for? Gone to get me stuff and thought, oh, this is just, you know, stupidity. So, and as I'm walking away with my back turned, so I've been talking to the plainclothes guy, but as I then walk away with my back to him, not the plainclothes, our dressed officer, as you can see on the video, accosts me from behind, grabs my right testicle and lifts me up from under the groin while squeezing my testicle, and then slams me to the floor. And the rest, as you say, is history.
So how long did they hold you, Adam?
So, thank you. Fill us in, we didn't see on video. What was all in the car, and then before we saw you again coming out triumphant, what all happened?
Yeah. Well, they bundled me into the back of that little Fiat Panda. It was all very silent in the car on the way. They shot through Rome like they caught a terrorist or something, mate. Honestly, they were speeding like 10.
You're a high commodity, dude.
It's like, you know what I mean? They're ridiculous. They're ridiculous. And we I don't know. No idea. It wasn't that long. It took me 15 minutes to walk sort of back to the Colosseum from the police station. So, pulled up there, kind of get me out the car again, using, just overly gripping and overly twisting my arm. As I said, there's no need. You don't need to be holding me that hard. There's no need to twist it like that. And then we get into the police station, and then up I go and been taken into a big room. Little side office on it. About 10 metres square or something, this room. There's an office on one. There's a little side room. And in front of that office is a desk. And he just pulls the desk out, the chair out from under the desk, and sticks it in the middle of the room there for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. And then, no, they're not communicating with me at all there. The only point they've done there is the sergeants come in of the station and asked if I've got any ID. So at this point I've said to the sergeant, yeah, here's my passport. And he said, I thought you didn't have it, the other bloke. And I've said, oh no, I hadn't looked. But whilst I've been in the back of the car, I've had plenty of time, I've had a good look through my bag, and luckily I've brought it. So they take that, and then, like about 10 minutes later, another policeman arrives, and he's got a bit of pidgin English and Google Translate. So I've calmed down a bit by this point, you know what I mean? I'm sat there thinking, how long's this going to take? Is it going to be, are they going to keep me overnight? You know what I mean? And just dick around, just abuse the powers even more. So when he's arrived, I said, can you tell me what I've been arrested for? And he said to me, you haven't been arrested. And I said, well, what's going off? And he's struggling with his English, and he ends up typing it into Google Translate. He says, what I read was you have been detained to ascertain your identity. They get me to write down my name and address, and then they're just talking for ages, just ignoring me, really. Probably sat in their main office then for a little while, and they're making me read these documents, which I'll publish when I get back to the UK. All the option boxes have been ticked for me, and et cetera, et cetera. And I've tried to read it, and it doesn't make a great deal of sense what there's not a box that says, do you plead guilty or not guilty? Do you know what I mean?
Did it have what you were accused of on there?
Well, yes, but not as a direct statement, really. It was only listed as the penal codes. So again, it wasn't apparent to me what they were now appears to be charging me with, even though I've not been arrested. So I've just thought, I've heard when he said 10 minutes, I thought, just get the fudge out of there, you know what I mean? And we'll deal with any issues when we get back to the UK. So I've signed the forms, and the English-speaking officer, who's been quite polite, friendly, asked if I wanted some water and stuff, you know, he was quite nice, really. He's escorted me down through the building again to the front door, and I just made a big point of looking him in the eyes, putting my hand out to shake his hand and say, just like to thank you, mate, for the way you've treated me with respect today. Didn't have a go at his colleagues, just said, and thank you, your kindness was appreciated today. He then looked at me a little sheepish. Grazie. Yeah. So then I head out the police. Well, I did say to him, just one thing before I go. He said, yeah. He says, which way's the Colosseum?
That was so great watching you walk up in front of the Coliseum, man. The energy was just, you were oozing. You could see it.
Yeah. Well, I'd got back to the Coliseum, walked round there. There was nobody there, and I thought, right, well, they're obviously going to be looking for me. So I will come back to the Coliseum, but I'll have a walk up the way we came in, because me and Jack had been looking for parking spots, and we'd seen quite a few on the main road in. So I thought I'll walk up there. And literally 100, 200 yards away from the Coliseum, I see the back of the bus, the little QR codes, and I'm like, yeah! And I go up to the bus, and I'm not sure if anyone's there, so I knock on the door, and Andrea just opens the door, and say, I'm not normally lost for words, as you know. I just looked at her and just put my arm out. Hug! She dived out the bus and gave me the biggest, wickedest hug. And then we were sat there for a little bit, and we didn't have I didn't have my phone, because Lisa's filming on my phone. So that's why I couldn't just ring them and say, I'm out, guys. We're sitting watching on Jason's, the van's spare iPhone. Just give me a sec, guys. We're at a toll. I just need to lean out, because this is the other side of the steering wheel's on the wrong side for this country. It's just a card payment. Just give me a sec, guys.
Amazing stuff so far.
Adam was asleep up until about 10 minutes ago. So
right. So forgive his whatever's happening right now.
Well, I got
an machine. Arrivederci. Okay. Allora, okay.
No. What is it? La tierra es piata?
La terra è piata. Or as they would say, the earth is flat, my friends.
Yes. I love how he calls them my friends.
Yeah. So we sat watching this, and I can just kind of see what's gone on. First thing I've seen is Travis has put, I've seen Adam Meakin kidnapped, and all this. And it's like YouTube's gone mad.
Yeah, it lit up.
So me and Andrea sat watching this for a bit, and we're desperately trying to get hold of the guys. I think we speak to Jason and stuff. They've all finally, got in touch with him to let him know I have my liberty again. And I can kind of see from the live streaming that they're walking back up to the Colosseum. And like you say, I was buzzing at this point, man.
Oozing machismo.
Yeah. Well, it was.
You could just see it.
It was partly because I'd got out, but to see what was going off on YouTube was just like, wow. So I've got to go and date. I've got to go and greet them, and let's get this properly on film. So then you see me running down.
I should have taken a sound clip. That was great. You're like, yeah, the earth is flat, baby. And you can't stop us from telling you.
Oh, man. Well, definitely shout out to everyone who quickly hopped on this and got us informed. Like I said, Gary called me right away as soon as I got on. Aether had stuff going live. Travis had stuff going live, The Plain Truth. Red Pill Philosophy threw a video together really quickly. It's already up to like 6,000 views. So shout out to Red Pill Philosophy for sure. And then again, everybody that was involved there with you and all the channels that quickly got stuff out trying to get this information out there, man. It was just amazing to see the response. I think I see a t-shirt in the making. You're going to be famous or infamous, one or the other.
So have you talked to your wife since?
Yeah, well, you see me on the thing, don't you? Going, don't tell the wife. Had lowered. That was the one person I wanted to speak to. You know what I mean? So I had a good chat with her. And I know her normal reaction was no, she didn't verbalise it, but you look too now. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
As I said to her,
What have you done?
Can I see it? I said, yeah, she's out. You just type Adam Meakin kidnapped into YouTube and you shouldn't have. And then she'd gone for a nice pizza and a bottle of wine. And she's
How is the pizza over there? I hear it's different.
It's Italian. So thinner than you guys would have it, really thin base. But her only comment was that he attacked you from behind. You know what I mean? So I think that's what everybody could see occurred.
Yeah, I figured once she actually saw the video of what happened, you would have been vindicated. It's not as you were popping off. And I got a message from Gary, too.
Wow. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I just, for some reason, I just assumed, Adam just sort of got rounded up and it wasn't any big deal. And then when I hopped on YouTube and checked the live stream, well, first I had to realize that it was all still going on. I didn't realize it was like still happening. So I had to back in the live stream and watch it. And when I did, I was like Zach. My blood pressure immediately went up. And I thought, oh. So the first thing I did was hop on Google trying to find the phone number to the police department because that's the video I want. What happens when you get 30,000 flat earthers calling the police department? Free Adam Meakin,
Oh, yeah. If you weren't out by now, we definitely would be. We'd probably be out in front of the police station.
I just typed Adam Meakin, and before I could get the K in, the kidnapping popped up. So you're there, brother. Google famous. You got to love it. First three videos are from Arwen, from Ute, and from John Savage. Shout out to those guys.
Are you guys still in Italy now?
Yeah, we're just pulled in to a rest stop. We're all going to get showers and the lights and freshen up. It was a real late night last night. We didn't get to bed till 4 because we had to get Nora to the airport to get her home. So by the time we dropped her off at the airport and then found somewhere to park, 4 o'clock before we got our heads down. So yeah, a little lay-in this morning. As you've disturbed it.
And we should have maybe waited and let you come in at your own leisurely pace. But we did not want to miss anything. We wanted to make sure we got you on here for sure. We're coming up to our first break, actually. Do you have time to stick around for a little bit longer? Or you need to go hop in the shower.
We've only got the first break, haven't we? So let me just get freshened up because my mouth's gross.
That's fine. Go get sexy for the cameras.
Yeah, and then I'll hop back on once I had a quick shower. We've got another hour, so haven't we?
Yeah.
So, but that's the full rundown. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, then you go get freshened up, Mr. Adam Meakin, and we shall talk to you in just a little bit.
Right.
All right, many thanks, Adam.
Love you, bro.
That's interesting. Interesting start of our day, for damn sure. And a hell of a thing to wake up to Sunday, for sure. Well, we will return, hopefully, with more from that Adam Meakin. Truth.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are TFR Frequency Radio.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Good morning to you. Start your day off bright and shiny. Get up off your little hiney and begin your happy day.
And thank you for getting your happy day right here with the Ironworks on Truth Frequency Radio with Walt, Zach, and Josh. And this morning we are joined, or were joined a little bit ago, and hopefully we'll be again soon, by the Adam Meakin, trying to set off an international flat earth incident by getting himself kidnapped in Italy. Leave it to Adam, is what I told Gary.
Yeah, Gary said the same thing. He said, Gary, Adam will do anything to get the limelight. I'm like, yeah, well, you know.
At
He didn't have the iron.
wearing his IRM t-shirt.
Right.
Love it.
He didn't have the iron staff. He had to do something for some attention. So.
Oh, the cap wouldn't even. They would have been still there.
Oh, that'd have been a weapon. They'd had him on the ground.
They'd have shot him right there in Plaza.
The cops wouldn't even have approached him with all the power oozing
That
out of
power
that.
being wielded, the glow
Yeah.
just, you shall not pass. Oh, my gosh. Well, good morning to everyone for sure this morning with us in chat. I see Liz is there. Good morning, our Iron Maiden. Daz, the artist himself. Diva. Hello, Diva. Dawn is here. Nipsey is here.
Nipsey.
Oh, no, man. Again, the tongue has not had enough coffee poured on it yet.
Candy, what are you and Walt been doing?
What's up, Candy? Man, we almost met up in Oregon and hung out. We missed it by, 6 hours? I think we figured out. Anyway. And Confident Civilian, welcome. We're glad to have you with us this morning. Oh, wait, where are we at? We're not on YouTubes. What are we doing? Are we not going to do that this morning? It just hit me.
I was a little...
Oh, that's true. You had issues Friday. I forgot about that. Yeah, we'll need to work on that Wednesday, probably. So, yeah, sorry, YouTubers. You're having to listen to this at a later time. It was fun, though, last week. That's probably, you only have so many shots to get on YouTube, and we probably used half of them up last week. So that's probably what happened Friday.
We're lucky to be on it all, considering
you get a few shots a week, and we rubbed all of those out quick.
Friday really threw me off. Really did. When we don't have anything planned, we don't have any guests, and we don't really have a show to present, usually ends up being some of our best stuff.
Right.
I don't know. Friday was really weird. I don't know.
It was off, the energy, yeah, and it was good, and it kept getting to good places, and we had a great group that had followed some great people over, Nathan and Bob, and a lot of folks had come in, and I mean, it was just, a good group, lots of good conversation, and pow, suddenly, are we off? Oh well, again, computer thingies.
And after the third time, I thought, well, there's something I can do to try to fix this. And after about 20 minutes of searching, I thought, well, fuck it. And then everybody was gone, and I said, all right, well, fuck it. Now I'm just pissed and embarrassed, and I don't know what the fuck to do. Pardon my language. Damn it, I wasn't going to do that.
Now we can't be on radio anymore.
No longer FCC compliant.
That's it. Shout out to the Alan Holman, live producer. We miss you, brother. And our brother Pav, who was here last week for some of the spooky season fun.
Miss you guys.
Seems like, what was that? Something. I don't know. It's something's tickling, sniggling at my brain, but.
Tuggling?
Tuggling.
Did I hear tuggling?
You did hear tuggling at my brain. I don't know what it was. It's not there. It'll come.
Well, it seems like I had something and it just slipped right out of my brain.
See, we both have slippery brains this morning. Slippery brains. All right. Darn it. So, Josh, how was your weekend? We've covered the craziness with our buddy over there across the pond. How was your weekend, sir?
Off. I mean, really, Friday threw me off.
Through the weekend, it did it, yeah.
I mean, mentally, emotionally, yeah, it really threw me off. And really, I trace it back to the show. And it really did. And it wasn't really until this morning when I woke up at 3, all disoriented and discombobulated, that I feel normal again. Oh, yeah, it's Ironworks. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, my dudes. And up I got. But other than that, I mean, I guess it was all right. We got some cleaning done, which has been in desperate need. My house has been handed down through a couple different generations, and stuff has just accumulated and accumulated and accumulated. And one of the generations will be returning with 20 years of hoarding stuff. So we are trying to make room so that when her mess comes, she'll be able to see exactly what her mess is. But we have a lot of stuff to go through. So it was busy. It was a busy weekend. But yeah, everything had just got thrown off by Friday. So hopefully my week will turn around. I have high hopes.
I have faith.
It will.
But Shibby's surgery was yesterday, so he is upstairs.
How did that go?
Everything seemed to go okay. They took the big nasty spot off the top of his paw, and he had another spot on his foreleg right there, sort of above it, but on the opposite leg. And so they cut that part out too.
Poor guy.
Yeah, he's a big whiny little bitch is what he is. He is a blockhead and a dog with a bark that can curl your toes. He is such a big baby. He just sits there and whines. Not loudly. And not like his I'm outside and I want to come in whine. But
just like feel sorry for me.
Just enough to go like, man, this ain't cool.
So quiet, so faint. You almost have to turn off the television and just be really, really still, and you can just hear him down there whining. His poor paw wrapped up. But it's 2 weeks he gets his stitches out. Should be okay. He hasn't quite figured out the cone yet, which is entertaining as hell.
I was going to say, is he coned up?
For the most part. When we're around and we can watch him and yell at him, if he starts to lick at his dressings, we can keep the cone off. But like today when we all go to work and David's at school, he'll just have to deal with his cone. And then Esme doesn't know how to deal with the cone and him whining and limping around. So he just stands there and whines. Doesn't want to lay down because he's got the damn cone on. And Esme just sits in the chair and whines because she doesn't know what the hell else to do. So I just have two dogs whining at each other.
Just in distress, right?
You got to get a picture of him just looking at you like, what the? Come on, man.
Oh, I will. I'll put it in the chat today. Dixie's sleeping.
Yeah, do that so I can throw a description picture for sure.
Yeah, I'll have her. It'll probably be right after the show. She's just then getting up, and I will have her text it to me, and I'll text it to you.
Man, well, shout out again to chat. We always have a lot of interesting topics that come through, and Daz has been discussing the InfoWars Flat Earth piece. We showed it on our show Friday, actually. Didn't we show it Friday? Was that Friday? Yes, that was Friday.
Yes,
okay.
Friday.
There were 3 shows, so it gets a little confusing. Anyway, but yeah, we played it, and I had not seen it. So it was my first viewing of the piece. I had heard about it. I had watched about half of David Weiss leading up to that. So I didn't really know, where this would be going. And my takeaway was it was really good, better than I expected, right up into the end when they discredited, if you hear the air quotes, I hope, because they were really hardly laid there, hard, air quotes, discredited the diary of Byrd with all the Hollow Earth aliens, woo-woo stuff. Now, if you don't believe in a particular piece of information that's out there that's really kind of obscure unless you're into Byrd or Flat Earth or UFOs, why include that in your piece? Why have that right there at the end for that to be the last takeaway mentally of, oh, wait, didn't that thing talk about Hollow Earth and aliens? Yeah, that's more woo-woo. That's how it felt to me. Yes, really well done, better than I expected, until that bullshit at the end. So that's what I got from it. But I could be the only one that feels that way.
I didn't see it that way the first time I saw it. But now that you mention that, it kind of set in when you said it. Like, yeah, why would they throw that little piece in there? But didn't they say something about how it may not even have been? There was a question if it was even Bird's
diary. That's what I'm saying. They discredited that. So if you're discrediting that, why even mention it as part? I mean, it doesn't come up. How many people have mentioned that in the Flat Earth community? That came up way back. Only because in a certain part of that, something about them going into an area of like other dimensions or some crap that was in it that I don't even remember reading the first time I read it back in my UFO days. So I'm not even sure if that's where that came from when that was being discussed. It was around that time of John Brahma and what is the dome? What is the barrier? What is it? What is it? What's it made of? Is it dimensional? Is it force fields? Is it electromagnetic? And that whole discussion. And I think it was his maybe navigator talking about them going, I think the quote was extra dimensional at some point when they were flying across Antarctica or some shit. So, I mean, that was, that doesn't even come up in the discussions unless you're a hollow earther or a concave earther, I would guess.
Now,
so why have that in there?
Daz in chat says the hole was in the Arctic, not the Antarctic for Byrd, which is what I thought.
That's what I thought I remembered too. See, that's again, why the hell even talk about this? This has nothing to do with Antarctica or Flat Earth or, again, more of this info.
Confused. Because, again, I ran across a lot of this in the beginning too, 4 or 5 years ago at this point, Jesus. But a lot of people were confusing his Arctic expeditions with his Antarctic expeditions and the confusion that was going on there. And I think the diary came out from the Arctic expeditions, did it not? I'm pretty sure that the diary was not from the Antarctic expeditions or any of his military stuff that he was doing down there. His diary that was released posthumously was done from his Arctic expeditions. I'm pretty sure, because I was pretty big into the Hollow Earth and the goings-on with Byrd and the North Pole, and I think when I was even reading it back in the day, that was way before Flat Earth even.
Yeah, way back.
I'm pretty sure that's from his Arctic adventures.
Oh yeah, the hole is there at the North Pole. That's the whole point of it. So, right, again, why have that in this discussion?
Maybe we need to correct them. By the way,
get Dave to drop a note. I'm sorry. What?
Say, editor's note, I'm dumb and don't know what I'm talking about. Just look into Flat Earth.
Oh, I love it. Oh,
And I'm reading chat again, John Savage. Darn it, it got quiet. I was trying to catch back and see what's going on. There's a lot of foot. Speaking of, I hope our hobbled ladies are feeling better. I hope you guys get better and are skipping along and tap dancing and all those things you did before. And if you didn't do it before, you should get started.
absolutely. We've been sending a lot of love your way, ladies.
Absolutely.
So what's been going on in space lately?
This and that and the other. A lot of the other.
I've noticed that. It's weird now. It's like they still are putting out stuff like all the time, but it is so irrelevant, and it's like they're leading us away from NASA.
At least leading us away from the stories we were fed by NASA for sure. Suddenly we've got extra layers, and the Kármán line is getting sucked right on down to the top of our cloud layer here, and where's the moon again? And yeah, all these things that are set in stone, figured out, dead certain, have all slowly but surely been unraveled and changed, and the story's kind of gotten a little off, and just like the hints of, never going through the Van Allen belts, and the hints of the photoshopping of the blue marble, and all that added to all this. Man, there might be a bigger thing of them really slowly unraveling this thing, because what else can they do? We've got to figure it out. And slowly but surely, with people like Adam getting arrested, and it gets big and blows up, then yeah, it'll happen.
Well, it looks like we're going for a full course space meal.
Nice.
Ah. Well, we had a full space salad.
Salad to start, of course.
Right, with sprouts and all.
Is there apps? Are we having apps?
Well, apparently they are shipping an oven. I think we talked about this weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, I remember the oven.
The oven going to the ISS. Well, apparently now they have sent DoubleTree cookie dough up there as well for them to bake cookies in space.
Easy bake oven.
I'm sure this is an electric oven, right?
They're probably just going to, I don't know.
It's a light bulb. Don't you remember the Easy Bake? Come on, man. Your sister would make you a cake, and it'd be all doughy and raw in the middle, and icing would be really thick in the middle over that doughy part. And, come on, you don't remember all that?
But see, that's okay, because cookies go really well with
bubbly?
Well, wine, actually. Not necessarily champagne specific.
Oh, I heard Don Ho singing. I know there's bubbles there, so go ahead, though.
Well, they have sent... Jeez. Here we go. A dozen bottles of fine French wine arrived at the space station on Monday, not for the astronauts, but for science. The red Bordeaux wine will age for a year up there before returning to Earth. Researchers will study how weightlessness and space radiation affect the aging process. The goal is to develop new flavors and properties for the food industry. The bottles flew aboard the Northrop Grumman capsule that was launched from Virginia on Saturday and arrived at the ISS on Monday. Each bottle was packed in a metal canister to prevent breakage. I'm not quite sure that's how that works, but okay. Universities in Bordeaux, France, and Bavaria, Germany, are taking part in the experiment from Space Cargo Unlimited, a Luxembourg startup. Winemaking uses both yeast and bacteria and involves a chemical process, making wine ideal for space studies, says the University of Erlangen-Nuremberg's Michael Lebert, or Lebert, probably, the experiment's scientific director in a company video. The space-aged wine will be compared to Bordeaux wine aged on Earth. This is the first of 6 space missions planned by the company over the next 3 years, touching on the future of agriculture given our changing world. This is once-in-a-lifetime adventure, Nicholas Gomez, chief executive and co-founder of Space Cargo Unlimited, said in the statement. NASA is opening the space station to more business opportunities like this, and eventually even private astronaut missions. The Cygnus capsule that pulled up to the space station on Monday contains multiple commercial ventures. Also on board, an oven for baking chocolate chip cookies, as well as samples of carbon fiber used by Italy's Lamborghini in its sports cars. Budweiser has already sent barley seeds to the station, with an eye to becoming the beverage of choice on Mars. In 2015, a Japanese company known for its whiskey and other alcoholic drinks sent up samples. Scotch also made a visit to space in another experiment. As for high-flying wine cellars, this isn't the first. A French astronaut took along a bottle of wine aboard Shuttle Discovery in 1985. The bottle remained corked in orbit. The space station's current crew includes 3 Americans, 2 Russians, and an Italian who might have preferred a good Chianti on board. Shout out to the Associated Press. And apparently Q13 Fox, this local website from which I grabbed this story.
Roughly $318,000 of wine, just real quick, rough and nasty math. 2.65 pounds per bottle, average, 12 bottles. 31.8 pounds by $10,000. You get that many monies. So, go science and money. But I guess since this was a business venture, it had nothing to do with our money, so we can't bitch about the $320,000, can we?
No, but I can sure laugh at it.
I'll laugh my ass off.
Shout out to Pavlo, who shows up this morning. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. I was shouting. Sorry. Try to accommodate all I can.
Yeah, it's always a great day when Pav drops in. That's for sure.
So we got about 4 minutes till the break, Walter. You got anything in there we could get out of the way?
Well, not only in space do you get wine and salad and all that, but in space, no one can hear you scream. Nor can they watch the Alien movies here in just a little while, unless you own them already, because Disney, who owns the frickin' universe, is locking away all the Alien films in its vault. God, I'm laying those air quotes on heavy this morning. Yeah, Disney locking away the Alien films in the vault because that's their power to keep you from having what you want. This is all about their bullshit streaming service that's coming out soon. I don't know what it's going to be called. Probably Disney something. But, see what I did there, Disney Plus. But yeah, so if you're an Alien fan, you better go watch it now on whatever streaming service you can find it on. Go buy it up. Go get it. Go grab your copy of it. I know no one owns discs anymore. It's all cool digital stuff in the cloud, but I'd go grab a copy. I personally already own the Quintology because I'm an Alien fan from way back when it terrorized me as a young child. Lots of MK Ultra for me. Thank you. Thank you very much. But yeah, go grab it because it won't be back until, oh man, I saw the date somewhere. Damn it, and I've lost it. Well, that's not the date I need to see. I'm seeing all kind of dates about it going in, but not when it's coming out. So it's going in forever, so I don't know when you'll see it.
Well, they never go in forever.
No. Just till it all makes all the discs expensive and hard to find.
Uh-huh. That's it. I remember when they did this to their cartoons once upon a time.
Y'all.
Then they'd re-release them out of the vault would be their new marketing term.
Well, this is apparently a ploy to keep independent theaters and chains from screening a lot of their classic films as they're ramping up for their streaming service. Someone was trying to get a copy to stream along with that new Memory, the Origins of Alien documentary, which is out. If you're a fan of Alien, that making of documentary exists. Memory, the Origins of Alien. I have yet to see it. I know it exists. I have yet to grab it and watch it, but I guess I need to hurry. That might go away too. But they were declined. Some nonprofit theaters apparently will have access to it for a limited time, and then it's going to be in the vault, and then it will be not available.
In my cleaning this weekend, I came across my DVDs. The paper boxes, because they have the nice fitting lid. Holds, I don't know what, like 12 reams or something of paper. Just a full paper box, So I had 5 of those full of DVDs. And then Dixie's got a lot of hers in one of those 200-count CD cases, the zip-up kind you carry in your car. She like burned DVDs and stuff all stuck in there. So we figured grand total we had about 700, maybe 800 different movies.
Nice.
That we had to go through and sort through and try to figure out what we wanted to save, what we wanted to get rid of. So that was a lot of fun, reliving a lot of movies I need to go back and watch.
Wow, in other alien news, as I'm scanning through this, there's an Alien TV series reportedly in development at Hulu. That could be interesting. And if you're into figure collecting, NECA has a Big Chap Alien figure on the way. Again, if you're an Alien fan, you know what all this means. Dark Horse Comics announces a new Alien comic tying to an upcoming Cold Iron Studios Alien game. Shout out to Cold Iron Studios. Man, I'm trying to feel hard. How much time we got left? We're almost there. Hopefully when we get back, we will have another bit of time with our buddy Adam there from across the pond. Unless he's done something to...
Hi, my name is Ella.
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
We are TFR. TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there.
There was one?
There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard, to think really hard, to think really hard, to think really hard.
And welcome back for hour number 2 of the Ironworks.
Indeed. Welcome back. Welcome back. So I ran to grab a bit more coffee to pour upon my tongue, and apparently I missed something. What happened on the commercials?
There was it was a news story about a shooting over these new Popeyes sandwiches that have been released full time.
Are you serious?
Are you kidding? The Epstein thing's supposed to be released this morning. Like Project
There you go.
or Veritas or whatever it's called. Yeah, Project Veritas was tweeting and actually trending for about 10 minutes last night. They follow me, I follow them. Don't know anything about the history, don't know nothing. I get followed by a lot of people. Usually I follow back unless it's something just totally against my whatever, I usually follow back. Anyway, whatever. So it suddenly was on my feed and trending, I noticed, and everybody was trying to keep it trending, that tomorrow at 9 a.m., they're supposedly releasing some Epstein world-shattering information. Death threats have been aimed at them, etc. Allegedly. I don't know, because last time Epstein was in the news is when these chicken frickin' sandwich wars started. So I guess apparently, I don't know, chicken programming of some frickin' sort.
Yeah, whatever works. Whatever they can do to get people to turn their head.
Right. When all that was going on, I know I told you guys on the show, when I was in Oregon, all that was going on in the news. And we talked about how silly it was and how ridiculous it was. And I could go get them down the street easily when apparently people were threatening and suing and all this bullshit. And that was still the case while I was here. I mean, while I was there, that Michelle could go grab a sandwich easily.
Well, we had pepperoni pizza. We had, like almonds or something. We had all sorts of food-related code words for these little pedophile rings. I wonder if chicken is related. That would be really interesting. If they're just throwing this chicken out there to cover up the Epstein story.
And I think when stories like this come out, they also have different meanings to different people. Like you said, code words. There could have just been 3 words, something in there that are said, and it means, okay, so on this day we're going to go do this, or yada, yada, yada. I mean, it's crazy. I know it sounds insane, but I used to hear on the radio all the time, and I would ask people, why do they play these? They would say, a child has been in an accident and is being taken to a blah, blah, blah Masonic hospital. And I was like, what? Okay, there's so many car accidents every day, and kids are involved in them all the time. Why all of a sudden on the radio? And these were the only accidents that they would say this. It was always when a child was involved, it was something to do with being taken to a Masonic hospital. And you would hear it like once a week. And I'd be like, why are they telling us that? Like, I don't know. It just, just part of their news. And I never bought it. But yeah, they've been doing this for a long time. You'll catch stuff like that if you pay attention.
The editor-in-chief is probably a Mason. It's just free advertising.
See, I see something more sinister than that. Yeah, when they mention child and then Masonic hospital, or just Masonic, I just see bad. I think bad. That's just
apparently, holy fucking, oh my God. An adult male homosexual sexually attracted to underage male is called a chicken lover, you fucking evil fucks.
There you go. There you
holy
go.
Shit. I'm sorry, people, I'm saying these ugly words, but I am just beyond over this crap at this point.
That is
it's time to take these people down, dude. I mean, this is so over. It's in our faces like this. They're fucking...
Even when I said it, I'm like, yeah, but what are the odds? I'm like, I'm just kind of talking out of my butt here. What are the odds?
Chicken fancier, chicken hawk, chicken hunter, chicken plucker, chicken queen. These are all the little terms used in the little area of pedophilia. You evil fucks. Oh, my God.
That does explain a lot.
I bet their words change, too. Once people start catching on, or there's a glimpse of it being heard of or whatnot, they change them. It used to be pizza and fries. I bet they have all kinds of stuff for everything. We used to have it for smoking pot. We'd talk about it in front of our parents. Say we're going to go horse around. And then we started getting bold. We'd say, oh, we're going to go horse one. Stupid stuff like that. Yeah, code words. It's like a big, giant kids club. I don't know. It's just me. I feel sorry for these people. I really do. What they've got themselves involved in and taken oaths to and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm so blessed that that little voice told me no when I was 11 years old. They tried to recruit me to demole for Freemasonry for children. And it seemed all nice and everything until I walked down the stairs and there was a bunch of guys dressed in black cloaks. Candles lighting up the room. Kind of freaked me out. And as soon as I stepped down on the floor, a little voice inside me said, "You don't want to do this. Leave here right now." And I'm so happy I listened to that little voice. Who knows where I would be now? That'd be crazy.
My son has a friend who's in demole.
Yeah, he took an oath then. That's the first thing they do. They give you, if you're going to join, before they teach you anything or you go anywhere and do anything, they give you a little paragraph. I wish I had it or could remember it. Just this little short paragraph. It's like 2 lines. You got to memorize it.
Apparently this kid's dad is one of those 3rd-degree master masons and is getting his son into the masons and demole and all this stuff. And I don't think my son quite fully understood. I mean, you know, it's a place to network, and, you know, if you're in the sort of community, as a business owner, it's one of those things that, you know, you can network and meet people and things like that. And you get, you know, advantages that way.
Most of them are great guys.
He was getting insurance for his car because he recently bought a car. And, you know, he's a teenage boy, so of course insurance is pretty high. Yeah. Until he compared it to what his friend who is in demole was paying, which is about, he said, I think it's like $30 a month as a teenage boy for auto insurance. Yeah. Compared to my son's, which was multiples of that.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. I mean, and most of the guys there are good guys. They're just business owners going to play ping pong and drink beer. They get up to that master mason, the 3rd degree, and that's it. They stop. Then it's all just social, you know, doing things for the community, this and that. They're mostly, probably 90% are probably just really good people. That, like you said, it's all about networking. I had a buddy join because he had a landscaping business and he wanted it to start doing better. And someone told him, yeah, if you join the Masons, blah, 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 you start getting government contracts and things like that and all kinds of, you know, it's how it works. But you have to turn your head if you see another Mason do something wrong. You can take it up within the lodge, but a Mason doesn't reveal another Mason's wrongdoings in public. You don't. That's one of their rules. You don't discuss another Mason's business. And they take that stuff very seriously. And that's where I don't like it. That's where I draw the line. When you're letting pedophiles run free because you're both in the same club, well, then I have a problem with that club. And that's just me. And once I said that to I had a 33rd degree Mason that I lived next door to. He was like 86, 87. And after I had mentioned that to him, our conversations kind of changed after that.
It looks like he'd be rejoined by the...
All right.
I'm back, Chris.
Hi, Ed. Feeling better?
Oh, a little fresher, mate, yeah. Cleared the cobwebs off that. And I'll tell you, although I had to concede, mate. I got in there and the only way I was getting a shower was to show my passport. So I did it with no resistance this time, and I've had a lovely shower.
Lesson learned, then, huh?
We got to pick our battles, right, Adam?
That's the one, yeah.
And that's why you got your nuts grabbed.
Oh, mate, honestly. Nah, nasty that. That's just cowardice, isn't it? Going for a man's nuts, man. Do you know what I mean? But I think that showed the level of aggression that was there. It wasn't about policing. He just wanted to flex his muscles, didn't he?
Yep. Yep.
I can see him standing in front of the mirror, shaving his head.
From the time he decided to walk after you to the time he walked up on you, he decided you were going to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting, no anything was made to me either to alert me that they wanted me to stop. You know what I mean? I was oblivious to him being behind me. You know what I mean? There was no attempt to stop or anything. He just, well, that's it, yeah. SummerSlam!
So, in hindsight, do you think there was ever, at any point, any cognitive idea of what you guys were really there about? Did they read anything, or was it simply a power play of you will not be here because we do not want you here?
I think it was mostly, I don't think it was that much. And he didn't want us there. And that, I think, was probably the driving force, not necessarily much else. I mean, he did say, I'm here to uphold the law. The thing is, you have these conversations every day with the officials, and we're always respectful. Do you know what I mean? But clearly he had his own agenda, didn't he? He'd been moaning at Nora that he didn't even want to be here today. He'd been called into work. He shouldn't be here and something. So, probably sets his...
Shouldn't even be here today. It's my day off.
But yesterday was a great day, guys. We were in Pisa yesterday, and we again approached the officials right outside the tower, the Leaning Tower, and we started with the line. Now, I know we can't set up here. But where could we settle? And she was saying you can go to the train station and get a permit, and you can actually set up here tomorrow if you wish. But that was obviously no good. So kind of wandered past the tower and to the end of the walls where, it's all enclosed in walls is the tower and the little dome. Literally on the other side of that was a market. And on this side, there's another police, there's police at one end and the other. So we walked down to them, and me and Nora decided a plan that we'll go up to them with the leaflets and say, is it all right if we go the other side of the wall and leaflets out in the market? Once we got that permission, then gave Dave and Jack the nod. I'm handing leaflets out in view of them, and they're just round the corner, just out of their view from the police car, setting up the banners and everything. So we got all that set up. We had a fantastic day's activism. Really, really nice day, pleasant day, and lots of positive interactions. So, that was fun.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to explain, isn't it? How all the energy you get. I didn't want to stop. The sun was going down now. It was starting to get dark.
Well, that's what we did last night. So we were honest. None of us were late starting a little bit because we'd had a nice morning yesterday. We called in at the coast, and some of them threw themselves in the sea. So we were late starting. It was starting to. Well, it was getting dark. The light was beautiful, but it was darkening up. And at that point, Dave said, "Right, I think I'm going to get the megaphone out." Within about 10 minutes of La Terra è piatta of megaphone noise, it was the nice police officer. He just came around the corner, looked at us, gave a wave of his hand, and went off. And we went, okay. We packed up there and go to Dave's channel. As we're walking back along the tower, Dave brings the megaphone out again, and that really stimulated people just to come up to us and start talking to us. We had a great conversation, most notably a couple from Chile. who were flat earthers, invited us to come and stay with them in Chile, asked why the bus wasn't coming to Chile. And whilst we're in the middle of that discussion, you'll see on Dave's channel a guy called James, English guy, turned up and he's chatting with us. And that conversation's on there. We had a right good flat smack there between us all. Yeah, a really good end to the day. Left us all in real good moods. And yeah, looking forward to my last day now, mate. And smash it in Milan.
So I understand a reason you'd want to get out of custody, sort of ASAP, right? So, right, give me your documents to sign. Here's my ID, whatever. Just, you have places to go. We're on a schedule here. What are your plans for when you get back home in regards to handling this assault and kidnapping, essentially? Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what I plan to do. I plan to go in a local police station, report it there. I've got the video evidence, which is fantastic. Got the documentation. I assume the next port of call is ring my MP as well, because it's something that they should be aware of. One of their citizens has had their EU rights contravened. So that's basically what I plan to do, report it to because there was no point trying to fight it over there. I know Issa and the likes turning up, but it's a kangaroo court. I wasn't even on that document given the option, do you plead guilty or not guilty to this? Yeah? So it's just, the way in which they're treating me is, and the way in which they process me was pretty much how they treat the African Indian traders. So if they're just annoying tourists or whatever, they just grab them under documentation stuff, drag them off to the police station, get them out of the way for an hour or so, and then release them. And that's what one of the traders said to the guys when I'd been bundled off. Don't worry, he'll be back. They do this to us all the time. Just an abuse of power to get their way. So as opposed to it being, an actual democratic area, it's enforced with bully boy tactics, isn't it? So hopefully I'll report that to the UK and they won't be apathetic. It's hard to watch the video and not see my side of the story, isn't it? It's very hard to see.
Well, yeah, the guy was handing you his lighter.
Yeah.
You guys were having a fine conversation. You were all packed up. Everything was okay. And then you wanted some identity. I mean, you didn't know who they were. Come up in an unmarked car. One guy just all dressed in black with some jacket that says police on it. I didn't see a badge or anything like that.
Nah.
It was weird. It was a whole other situation.
Yeah. Just your name or your ID number. Nobody's got ID numbers on. And he says, don't have to. I said, well, that's okay, but it's perfectly out. And Nora said to him, it's perfect. This is perfectly normal behaviour for an English person. A police officer is duty bound to be identifiable and, if requested, identify himself. He's acting on behalf of the state. And I didn't see anything antagonistic in that particularly. You're asking somebody who's telling you to do what, just clarify under what authority. And considering he was in plain clothes and stood there with a little crappy panda that's not marked up, not even a tit on the top. No lights, nothing. It was reasonable just to clarify who we've been talking to and the likes. But clearly, that's what triggered him. Why anybody would be triggered by having to identify themselves in the course of the duty, I don't know. So the only conclusion I could draw from that was that maybe his actions on us were not necessarily lawful. Because we weren't street talking, we weren't telling, we were providing information. So, we'll see. But hopefully, when I get back, Riley's looking into stuff. He's already found all the subsections of law and stuff. So we'll take it from there. I don't know if a GoFundMe's the way to go or something like that, because if there is legal costs, if I wouldn't bother pursuing it for my own gratification. Do you know what I mean? So just to stick one at him, it's not worth my energies, but I think to highlight what's gone off is
Oh, yeah.
essential. So we'll see what happens when I get to the UK, guys.
Well, I'm proud of you. Stood up to tyrants dressed like stormtroopers.
Perfectly legitimate question.
Well, I heard a lot of people, or read a lot of people's comments, and they were mostly trolls saying, well, you should just do what the cops tell you, and this, and it's like, well, no.
Huh? What?
Yeah.
Cheap, aren't they?
Yeah. That's what I should have responded with.
Yeah.
We call those cop suckers.
Cop. I'm all for obeying the laws and all that kind of stuff, but just doing whatever a person tells you because they're a police officer, well, no, I'm sorry. That's, you know.
Only obey lawful commands.
Mm-hmm.
Gives you a lawful order, obey it by all means. And if it's not really a lawful order, at some point he's going to have to justify why he called it an order or why he had to issue such an order. Right? He's going to then have to stand behind it. If he asks you to do something, that's a request to which you can politely decline. It's not an order. So a simple request is something that you can deny or concede to. An order is something you follow. If it's a lawful order, by all means follow it. Respect the rules.
This was what Riley was pointing out, mate. Under the EU law, the officer does have the right to ask me to identify myself. I have the right to refuse to provide documentation. He doesn't have the right to see my documents. He has the right to ask me, and I can identify myself verbally, which I did. But he doesn't have the right to detain me to confirm my documents unless I am in the middle of committing a criminal act or suspected of committing a criminal act. Well, first of all, I'd complied and we packed up, so I wasn't committing an act. We'd done everything as requested. But even if he perceived that rolling out that banner was the offence, it would be a civil offence and not a criminal offence. So even under those, he has no right to detain me to see my papers. And all of that supersedes any local policy with EU directives of freedom of movement and rights for EU citizens, which luckily we haven't Brexited yet. So
you've still got the EU at least.
Thank goodness for the incompetence of the British Parliament.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we are quickly approaching our final break of the show. Are you going to be able to stick around for another 30, or you got to head out, or what's going on, Adam?
We're probably going to be heading off, and as soon as the vans go, it's
all right, brother. Be safe. Stay out of trouble. Stop instigating.
Love you, Adam.
Love you so much, brother. You are my hero without a doubt.
See you later, guys.
You're listening to the Truth Frequency Radio Network.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires. In a form your body can easily use and put to work. Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are awake, we are awake, we are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset, start taking iron today.
For you.
And welcome back to the 4th and final segment of the Ironworks right here on Truth Frequency Radio. Josh Corey, Zachary Zabala, and Walter Johnson. Adam Meakin just left us, free from the bonds of tyranny.
I think I heard 3 for yous in there during the song. Is that about right? Oh, that was great.
No fewer than 3.
I was cracking up.
I agree with Liz. Shout out to Salamo.
Salamo. Haven't seen him around as much.
No, same.
When I first started, he was around the whole show usually, all the time when I found you guys.
Yeah.
I know people get different schedules and things change.
He became a dad. That tends to take up a lot of time.
Yes, he did indeed.
Yeah. Flip your whole world upside down. In a good way, though.
Indeed.
I met the little lady. She is quite aware already and has yet to see a screen. Quite an amazing feat this day and age.
Yes, it is.
If I ever have a child, they won't know what a television is.
Ooh, I just wanted to shut out the Brian. Shut out the Brian.
We did shut out the Brian.
So there's quite the collection of stories we've gathered, mainly yesterday.
Yeah, it was quite a weekend. We were a little sidetracked.
That's true. This is absolutely true.
But, yeah, there's a few things here and there. Where do you want to start?
I'd like to shout out David Weiss real quick.
Absolutely.
That guy's been on fire with his interviews. He handles it all so well. He doesn't get triggered. He's got it down. I wrote in his last interview that he did. I forget which one it was. He's been doing so many lately. It's crazy. I said, he is my Globe Light ambassador. If I want someone to go, do an interview for the flat earth community, I want it to be Dave Weiss. I think that guy's just, I don't know. He's very good at it.
Yep, he handles
and I've
it well.
heard so many people say that. When I heard him talking about it, it made me go look into it. And he has that ability. He's so sure and confident about the way he says it and his demeanor and everything. He's I don't know. He's doing awesome. We're lucky to have people like that. We've got such a huge variety of different professionals in the flat earth community, from lawyers to doctors to pilots to engineers to, surveyors. It's amazing how many different types of people I've met that I never would have ever met before if it wasn't for this.
You got something going on in the background?
I was about to ask that question. You must have fans.
Yeah, I got a little space heater out here. That's
space heater. No, I'll stop. It's early. Oh man.
But yeah, shout out David Weiss.
Definitely.
That's all I wanted.
Great interview or show or whatever they did, him and Owen Benjamin back in the day. I actually made a copy of that and put it on my channel. I don't know that I threw it on Iron Realm as well. I know I put it on my Flat Earth Head channel. But yeah, that was great fun. Great fun.
We haven't uploaded anything outside of our stuff in quite a while.
Well, it's been quite a while. It's back whenever that happened.
Up on our channel. Provided I can dodge copyright strikes.
Nah, we can't do that anymore. So, Voyager 2, Voyager apparently has gone interstellar. Back in the day, we knew this. We talked about it. How it's amazingly, still vibrantly sending signals back. What with all those amazing batteries and whatever it's doing magically still all these years later. But as it's passed through the borderland between the sun and interstellar space, it's found something new and puzzling that Voyager 1 missed. On November 5th, 2018, this is when this happened. Last year, exactly a year ago today. Remember, the 5th of November. NASA's Voyager 2 crossed into interstellar space, interesting enough, on November 5th. Some 6 years after its twin Voyager 1 made that same transition. And now it has found something that Voyager 1 missed because, oopsie. For the past year, scientists have pored over this data collected during the lead up and the aftermath of the probe's passage from the major sphere of influence of the sun into the void between the stars called the interstellar medium. The boundary between these two realms, known as the heliopause, is a dynamic environment. This is where galactic cosmic rays, high-energy particles from alien stars and distant galaxies, all this is slamming into the bubble-like magnetic shield created by the sun, which encompasses the solar system. The Voyager probes are the only human-made objects that have ever traversed this tumultuous borderland between the sun and the stars. And while the twin probes sent back many similar observations, Voyager 2 has encountered a new phenomena while entering this interstellar medium. For instance, Voyager 2 discovered a previously unknown border just outside the We've just said that. I just read that. Why are we repeating the same thing I read a paragraph ago? Sorry, I hate bad writing. This according to Edward Stone, a professor at Caltech, research, threshold, blah, blah, blah. Same stuff. We're repeating the same stuff. Okay, here we go. Something new. The researchers call this threshold a cosmic ray boundary layer, because it signals where the probe experienced a shift in the gradient of cosmic rays from the great beyond and the lower energy particles typical of the familiar environment around our sun. Oh, my God. Blah, 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 blah.
there it is.
So basically, blah, 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 they found a bubble around another bubble around the bubble. There's a different bubble around the bubble. That's double bubble.
It's just a gradient. It goes from something to nothing, but so slowly.
So we have the Higgs field, and what did they call that deep part of space? What was that? It's called the ether, people. It's the ether.
That's what it's called.
It was named a long time ago by very smart people. And morons have broken it up and exactly. Yep.
So, just in case you didn't know, Voyager 1 recorded an influx of high-energy cosmic rays before it ever passed through the heliopause, right? But then Voyager 2 recorded the exact opposite phenomena, an increase in low-energy particles from the heliosphere after it crossed into the line into interstellar space. So, there you go.
Duh.
I mean, doesn't that show you everything you needed to know about it all?
It would make sense if you were a scientist.
Oh, my God, these things.
Yes, science.
Just silly people with their silly probes. Silly. All right. Science. Cookies, you did that. Man, I just saw it. Where was it?
Someone needs to make a redub song, No Longer Blinded by Science.
Remember old Ziggy from Mars and those
Ziggy Pop?
spiders? No, Ziggy Stardust, those spiders from Mars? Well, guess what? Oh, man. Well, guess what? Now we're going to have spiders on the moon. Why wouldn't we?
Why not?
It's going to be robots. Walking robots. They're going to explore the lunar crevasses and caves. Spacebit is a company, and they're making creepy crawly robots. And they're going to help explore the mysterious caves and lava tubes. Remember those? We've talked about the lava tubes on the moon. This is all according to the company's CEO. They're going to fly their first test mission in 2021. So that's just a short 2 years away. I bet we'll be able to cover that live right here on the air. Anyone want to take side bets on that? Oh, wait, no gambling on the air. So, Spacebit CEO Pavlo, shout out Pavlo Tanasyuk, made an energetic appearance before delegates at the International Astronautical Congress, October 24th. On October 10th, Spacebit had announced its plans to launch the UK's first privately built moon rover in 2021. Then on October 23rd, they entered a new partnership with the International Astronautical Federation Regional Group for Latin America and the Caribbean, or Caribbean, I guess, depending on which emphasis you would like to use. That's all big news for a startup. Bunch of rush missions towards the moon. No help from NASA, but they're going to make it happen because space is awesome. I'm just really going through this quickly because it's all, again, a bunch of hooey, because we know around, let's say, October 10th of 2020. So around, say, July of next year, they're going to find an O-ring that's not quite working. And then around September, there's some paperwork that'll be not filled out correctly. And then around, I guess, right there in the end of October, there's going to be a lot of, like, probably chicken sandwich news that'll really distract people from space. And, they won't make it. It's just a theory of mine of using history as we have been seeing here. But don't forget, spiders on the moon. Go spiders.
Hetty Bob is smiling down.
Is he not just... Yeah. Oh, Hattie Bob. Man, I forgot about Hattie Bob. Oh, creepy. Creepy paper. What else is happening in the world?
Good question.
It might be nice if they would invent something to feed people that are starving or something like that.
No.
With all this money. Rather than making spiders to go to an imaginary place.
Well, then how about
It'll
robot
happen. People are
swarms?
waking up.
If you don't like spiders, Zach, how about robot swarms that will be mining the ice on the moon? How about that? Huh? How about that? How about that?
Got to mine the ice. It's a rare commodity here on Earth. We got to go to the moon.
Let's send robots to Antarctica with cameras on them and cross Antarctica.
But a California startup called Offworld has big plans to make resource mining a reality across the solar system, Zachary. They're going to send swarms of smart robots to the surface of distant moons, not just our moon, distant moons and planets, to extract resources, including water.
Wasn't it 2018 in like May or June? They were supposed to send 2 astronauts to our moon. I'm still waiting for that.
Remember that?
That story just kind of just diddled away. They never really said what was going to happen. Chicken sandwich. Oh,
just relax into the crunchy goodness. Oh, my God.
Bring that up to my brother-in-law because we had this discussion in 2017. Right when they were announcing that, because that's what he brought up. Well, they're sending people to the moon again here in 6 months. I was like, okay, I'll talk to you in 6 months.
Hold your breath there, bro.
And now, 2020, and if he says anything about flat Earth, I was like, are you still waiting for those astronauts to be sent up to the moon? Is that your go-to? Chicken sandwich.
Oh, man.
I love it. Space is just a giant chicken sandwich.
Just a giant sandwich.
Oh, goodness. We've only got a few minutes left, don't we? Yes, I guess we should get serious about the moon robots. Let's try.
Serious about moon robot stuff.
Let's try. Oh, goodness. Okay, so they're going to go get ice. Does anybody remember Ice Pirates? Anyway, go on. That was Space Herpes. That's right. Space Herpes.
I'm going to say, the movie I watched wasn't Ice Pirates, but it was similar. And I think herpes was involved.
I got it. Oh, my God. I had to mute on that one. I had to mute. I was going to make too much noise and wake the people up here anyway. So, well. So, yeah. Speaking of ice, does anyone know why ice is slippery? I mean, that's kind of like why is water wet and why is the sky blue? Why is ice so slippery? Zach, any theories?
Why ice is so slippery?
Uh-huh.
Does it have something to do with the heat and the cold?
You would think, right?
You would probably think something like that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're rubbing the ice, you would create friction and the ice would melt. It's not like this isn't
for lubricating.
It's not rocket surgery, right?
It's not rocket surgery.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. There's a thin film of water that's generated by friction, but it's far thinner than expected and much more viscous.
It's water.
It's actually resembling snow cones of crushed ice when you walk on. I don't know what the hell I'm reading anymore here. Oh, and this is from what? Phys.org, so it's real science. So yeah, liquid layer of friction. That's what happens. Since we're talking about ice, I thought we'd find out about ice.
It's got this really special, it's like viscoelastic properties is what it's called. It's as viscous as oil. According to this is obviously you would know this because they listened. They developed a device equipped with a tuning fork similar to those used in music that can actually hear the forces at work during ice gliding with remarkable precision. And despite the instrument's size, which measures a few centimeters, it is sensitive enough to probe ice and analyze the properties of friction on a nanometric scale. So this is what they...
Wow, that's really in this article. I thought you were making that shit up completely out of your ass. That's really further down this article. I just read that too. Oh my God. Okay, go ahead. You're good. Go.
Nope, that's it. They just, using this device, they were able to clearly demonstrate for the first time that friction does indeed generate a film of liquid water on ice. That's science, baby. How much money?
It's on that now.
I wonder how much money that was to find all that out.
It's still tuning fork to hear the ice.
Hear the ice, dude.
It only cost $57 million.
Right? And only another $157 million to continue to study. Who knows what we could learn now that we know that friction will melt ice.
Yeah, but these results do show a thorough overhaul is needed on the theoretical descriptions that have been proposed to describe friction on ice, Josh.
Oh, well, there I go, putting my foot in my mouth. Stupid me.
See?
I just wasn't listening closely enough.
Did you guys ever see Cool Runnings?
Being the first Jamaican bobsled U.S.
That's the one. That's the one. Just thinking about viscous ice and stuff. Yeah, that's the one.
That's
Maurice. You dead, man?
And this is why you need to have spiders mine your ice. Because ice is slippery if it melts on top.
Well, then you need 8 arms, of course. That's it. 8 arms. That makes sense now. See? Science. They've got it figured out. Oh, my goodness.
I think they should wait till after more study goes into how to make the proper footing for the spiders. Just to be sure.
Oh, my goodness.
What was done earlier on the idea that it's just normal H2O water, not this super complex viscoelastic property of water that is as viscous as oil. I mean, who'd have thought that?
Well, it'd be colder, so it'd be thicker and denser.
Did anybody hear that before? Or what were they listening to all those other times they were listening to ice? What did they hear then, huh? Or are they just now...
I see this going down Futurama where they're going to start smelling everything. Put their nose on the telescope and smell the universe.
Hear me out. All I need is like $5 million. And I'm going to listen to ice. Just $5 million. I'm going to listen to it. And I have a sneaking suspicion that it's going to be more than just water. This is why I need $5 million. It's going to be some sort of special water. I'll come up with that after the $5 million, but first give me the $5 million because I think that if you rub ice, it might melt.
You create this magical substance.
The only way I can figure that out is if I listen to it. So, to figure out if ice melts with friction, I need to listen to it, and I need you to give me $5 million so that I can listen to ice melt, please. Who in the hell would sign that dotted line?
No, they do. The guy's uncle. Whatever senator, congressperson that is.
Their buddy at the lodge?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's another thing. When you start getting into, I don't know, I don't want to say all scientists are evil, but they're paid to find certain things and to disregard other things. You'll find a scientist to tell you that smoking is good for you. You'll find one that tells you it's bad for you. You'll find one that tells you that eating eggs is good for you. You'll find one that tells you it's bad for you. Whatever the person paying you wants you to find, that's what the scientist will find. Or at least word it to where they, can sell it.
We're almost done here, everybody. Thank you so much, Zach. Thank you so much, Josh. Adam, thank you. My hero. My hero.
We're glad you're free, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Be on the lookout
Love y'all.
for the Adam shirt. It'll be coming. I'm working on it. Love y'all.